Hey y'all, welcome to the Bulletproof Marriage Podcast. As you can tell, Alan's been working on something back here, trying to fix up this TV on the back wall.
I put that up there so when I'm reading something on the computer here and I want them to see it, I can put it up there until we get our new computer where I can put it on this screen here.
I guess it works, but y'all might not be able to read it. You might have to get a magnifying glass, but
Hey, I'm working with what I got right
I reckon
now.
you're going to be reading, right?
It's better than nothing.
Yeah. It kind of does make it look a little fancier, but
Yeah, look, it's even got the Bulletproof Marriage Podcast logo on the back behind us. And even got the cross.
Yeah.
Don't that look nice?
Yeah.
See?
Better than... Well, I mean, we had a cow back there, and I love cows, so...
The cow is now on the door outside at the house because Allie put it out there.
That was where it was initially supposed to be, anyway.
Anyway, I got to thinking about something the other day, and I started laughing. And I was thinking about when you first got your sleep machine because you got sleep acne.
Apnea.
Sleep acne.
Acne is on your face.
I don't know what it is.
Apnea.
Has it got a P in it?
App.
App.
Knee.
Knee.
Apnea.
No,
Sleep
I don't
apnea.
like it. Sleep acne. That's what I call it. Anyway, she has the little nostril piece that goes in your nose, and it's supposed to shoot air through your nose while you're sleeping, so you can continue breathing. You don't stop breathing at night. Well, she had wore that for a few days, and she told me, she said, Alan, she said, this is rubbing my nose raw. And she said, I'm going to put Vaseline on it. So for 2 days, she was putting Vaseline on her nose. And then all of a sudden, she said, Alan, this Vaseline ain't working. And I said, I wonder why not. And she got to looking. She said, well, because it ain't Vaseline. I said, what do you mean it ain't Vaseline? She said, it's a Vicks Vapor Rub. I've been putting Vicks Vapor Rub on my nose. And I said, you couldn't smell that and tell that was not Vaseline? I said, good grief.
I mean, I smelled it, and I knew that there was a smell, like a menthol smell to it, but it didn't register in my brain that it wasn't Vaseline. That Vaseline didn't smell like that or whatever.
So for 2 days, you rubbed Vicks Vapor Rub
At
on
least I
your
didn't have a stuffy
sore
nose those 2 days.
nose. No, I'd say not. Oh, man. Well, we had a great church service this morning, by the way. And Pastor Gerald, I thought, blew the roof off.
Yep, it's pretty good service.
I thoroughly enjoyed that service this morning. And if y'all don't have a home church and you're looking for a church or you just want to come visit, come on over to New Covenant Fellowship over there at Dial Rock and give us a visit. I will post the address right now on the bottom of the screen for those of you that are watching. And for those of you that aren't watching, I'll give you the address. Can you bring the address up for me on your telephone over there?
Sure.
She's getting her phone. Like I said, we'd definitely love to have y'all. And this morning's service was amazing. I know you type fast, Matt. What are you doing? Click, 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 click. Tap, 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 tap.
You can probably hear that on the
What's that say? What's the address?
468 Dial Rock Road, North Tazewell, Virginia, 24630.
Yeah, come on by. Give us a visit. We have church at 11 o'clock on Sundays, and 6:30 there's a Bible study on Wednesdays, and they got teen class and kids class. The kids will have a ball, I promise.
And if I'm randomly shaking my head throughout this podcast, it's because we have 2 children. And every time we start a podcast, they have everything that they have to do. Carly's wanting to take the trash out and make all the noise she can. She's wanting to go over Mom and Papa's. It's just the life that we have here at this house. So if you hear random noises or see me shaking my head or giving a side eye or mean face or something, just overlook.
Yeah, the funny thing is, we've told them to take the trash out and do this and do that, do their chores. They didn't want to do it then, but when we start to do this, then they want to do it.
I guess that's the little devil trying to.
We're going to have a deliverance here in a little while on these kids.
The devil is trying to work through the children to try to get us to be sidetracked and not be doing this podcast. But he's already started it over once, and I about lost it.
Yeah. Had technical difficulties. But I want to ask you a question. Me and my friends were talking about this the other day, and we got some crazy conversations. What the question I got for you is, if you were stranded on an island and nobody else around, just you, and all you had was a TV and electricity, and you could watch movies.
Well, if you got stranded on an island and you got electricity, you're doing pretty good.
No, listen, you got to listen to me here. We're making a scenario here.
Okay.
What movie actors' movies would you watch the rest of your life? You can watch their whole library, and that actor is the only actor's movies you can watch for the rest of your life.
Can we pick a TV show?
It can be a TV show, but it has to be one person.
Oh, I don't know. I don't even know an actress. All I watch is like The Bachelor or The Voice or The Bachelorette. I watch all those drama shows, you know.
Well, you need one person.
I don't know. I don't even know one
Arnold
person.
Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Matthew McConaughey, Adam Sandler, somebody like that.
Who played in that movie? I can't even think of the name of it. It was like a race car movie. It was a funny movie.
Was it Talladega Nights?
Yeah. The guys that play in it. What's the one guy with the curly hair?
Oh, why'd you ask me? Shoot.
I'd probably pick him because he's pretty
I know
funny.
who you're talking about. They called him Ricky Bobby in the movie.
I don't remember what they called him. But it was a funny movie. I like funny stuff. I can't watch serious stuff or anything. It's got to be funny and catch my attention like really good.
You know who I'd pick?
Who?
I would pick Sylvester Stallone. He has a lot of movies. I love his Rocky movies, the Rambo movies. So I believe I'd watch his stuff for the rest of my life.
I don't even really know who that is.
Well, you were sitting here last night and had it on YouTube, and Eye of the Tiger music video came on, and you sitting over there singing it. And I said, "Do you even know where that song is from?" She said, "No." But I know it's Eye of the Tiger. She didn't know what movie that was from. That song was made famous by the movie Rocky.
I just like the
Sylvester
song.
Stallone.
I don't know who it's by. I mean, where it's from or whatever. I just
Who it's
like
by,
the song.
where it's from.
Yep.
Oh, man. Well, anyway, let's get into why we're really here today and what we're going to talk about. You asked me to find something that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, because I didn't get anything this week, just right off. And sometimes the Lord will drop little things for me to talk about or whatever. But I think this week was meant for Alan to pick it.
Well, I was doing some research and I ran across this certain topic on the internet. And the Lord laid it on my heart that this was it. Now, this is a piece put together by another pastor. And I was wanting to share it with everybody here. And what it's called is 4 Signs of a Spiritual Attack on Your Marriage. And I got to reading these, and we've been through all 4 of these. There's plenty more.
Yeah.
There's plenty more signs of a spiritual attack on a marriage.
I think the 4th one really fits.
Yeah, because she wanted to look at them before we start. So I let her look everything over. Well, let's look at number 1. When tempers flare. Temper ever flared?
Who has the most temper here? Is it me or you?
Probably me.
Probably.
Me.
Even Carly's pointing at you.
Well, let's look at what this pastor said when tempers flare. He wrote, "Every marriage is a miracle relationship of sorts because men and women have vast differences. You agree with that? I agree with that. So when tempers begin to flare, even over the tiniest of things, then the couple might be under spiritual attack. You agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about the little bittiest thing. It set one of us off.
And it does.
Okay, then it goes on to say, even though we walk in the flesh, we are not waging war according to the flesh. You can look at that in 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 3. Because our enemy is invisible to the human eye, Ephesians 6:12. Remember to be patient with one another because God is with us. He's patient with us, so why shouldn't we begin to be patient with one another?
Patience is a really hard thing.
Yeah, for you. If I don't do something, for example, if she tells me, hey, I bought this shelf, put it together. I'm like, all right, I will in a few minutes. Then, guess what? Beck's over already taking it out of the box, put it together. She just like her papa.
A few minutes to Alan is like 4 or 5 hours. And like, I can't wait that long. Or if I ask him before the girls started having their chores to do, I'd ask him to take the trash out. If he didn't take it out when I asked him to, I was like, well, I'll just get it. Never mind.
Yeah, so I like to do things on my time when I get a chance. I'll get it done. She might have to
When he
remind
gets a
me.
chance.
She might have to remind me 100,000 times, but I'll get it done. It might be at the last minute of the day, but I'll get it done.
But by the last minute of your day, I'm tired and I'm ready to go to bed.
Then you don't have to worry about it. Go to bed, go to sleep, right?
No, that because I got something to do with it.
No, because then
If I got something to put together.
she'll go ahead either put it together or run the trash out there. You get that from your papa.
It runs in the virus family.
Let's look at number 2 here. A weak prayer life. Now, what it says here, when the enemy can get us off our knees, he is helping us to cut off our only source of help and hope. When couples refuse to pray individually and together, the devil can get a foothold in their marriage. I agree with that. The times when prayer seems the most difficult are the very times we need to pray the most. When a couple is under spiritual attack, the enemy can make us feel too busy to pray, too hopeless to pray, and too pointless to pray. So a weakening of a couple's prayer life could be a sign of them being under a spiritual attack.
Yeah, Alan, I don't know if he really knows this or not, but a lot of times when he goes to bed during the week, he goes to bed way before I do. And when I go to bed, I pray for him every night before I go to sleep. And I lay my hands on him and I pray for him. And he actually doesn't throw his hand off or throw my hand off of him because it's cold. But yeah, I don't think he knows that I do that.
Well, you told me one time before, and I said, no, you don't. Because usually, sometimes I wake up when you move me or something.
Yeah, I don't think, we really don't pray as a couple as often as we should. We should make that more of a priority in our marriage.
Yeah, there's been times I prayed for you while you were asleep, too. I prayed over
when
your
I'm
foot.
Screaming at night.
Yeah, she makes weird noises when she's sleeping if she ain't got her sleep machine thing going. It's kind of like a squeak noise.
Well, you said one night I was screaming at the top of my lungs.
Yeah, she scared the crap out of me. Right out of my I was dead asleep, and she squalled out real loud. Yeah, I jumped over and looked there and see what was wrong. And she was asleep. I was like, what in the world?
And I don't know what happened because I didn't know nothing about it until he told me.
Nightmare or something. Okay, let's look at number 3. Self-focused. When couples begin to care only for themselves, they begin to serve their mate less and less until over time they are only interested in doing for themselves. But marriage is about serving one another and not drawing a line in the sand and saying 50% of your duties are there, 50% of mine are over here. That's not the way marriage works. It's not what you can get out of a marriage, but what you put into one. So when one of the mates begins to focus only on themselves, the enemy might be trying to make sure they take care of number one first rather than caring for their mate above their own self-interest. You know, that's one thing that the enemy came in our marriage there for a long time. Yeah, because it was like I was worried about what I wanted to get done, what I needed to do first before anything else. You agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a hard thing not to be self-focused, because at times you have to worry about yourself, but um you have to also care about your spouse and put their needs and wants in there too, because if you don't, it's just going to cause destruction in your marriage.
Absolutely. When you begin to notice these things, when you begin to turn your marriage over to the Lord, put Him in the center to hold it all together, and you begin to let Him lead the marriage, and you follow Him together as a couple, you start to see these things that the enemy started to attack you with, like being self-focused and stuff like that. Then once you notice that, you want to say, "Hey, I know what's going on here. I'm going to face this head on, and I'm going to make a change on this. This ain't happening anymore." And that's part of following Christ. He's showing you how to battle the enemy. Let's take a look at which one is it?
That's
Number
3.
4. That's number 4. Ain't it? Let's
No,
see.
that's 3.
No, 1, 2, 3. That's number 4.
Oh.
Nitpicking, Beck. Nitpicking.
This is my favorite one, because this is what I
This
do
is
a
the
lot.
one she said at the beginning that was interesting. Let's see what nitpicking says. Becca, this is what nitpicking says. When we start to become irritated about the little things our marriage partner is doing, then we are not remembering how much we've been forgiven. When we start to keep count, then we are allowing the devil a foothold in our marriage because we can feel shortchanged. And then resentment starts to build. Marriage is not a 50-50 proposition. It is an unlimited serving of one another and not keeping track of who did or who didn't do what. The enemy would love nothing more than to have us keep score and then use it against our partners for not holding up their end of the marriage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of them used to be, I'm a stay-at-home mom, but my kids go to school now, but Alan works, and he'd be like, well, I work, this is your job. And it was like that in this house, but it was a keeping score for a long time around here, because like I'd say, well, I did this on this day, so maybe you should do it on this day because I did it then.
Yep.
But he was like, well, I work.
Yep.
But now, I mean, we still have our disagreements and we still have our days, don't get me wrong. But
Yeah.
and
Everybody.
there's sometimes like it can be something small, and the enemy will like be like, you remember that? Go ahead and ask him about that. Or anything.
I think you did that a while back. What was it? You said something. You brought something back up, and I was like, what in the world are you even worried about that for?
I don't know. You leave your clothes on the floor, and then you fuss because the house is a mess. And I'm like, the equation's not adding up here.
Making it right to the basket's close, ain't it?
I guess.
Hey, at least it ain't like the kids. The kids, for some reason, you keep telling them, put your clothes in your clothes hamper. Where do I go in and find them? They're piled up behind the bathroom door against the wall. At least I take my clothes and get them towards the basket or on the basket.
And they're 2
And
girls.
my towels.
So we have like a ton of clothes all the time because Carly especially, she feels like she needs to change 1,000,000 times a day.
Yeah. I never understood that.
I don't know. Usually I'm lucky to get out of my pajamas, so.
All right, let's look at the conclusion to these 4 signs. It says most Christians realize they have a bullseye on their backs and that the enemy and his demons will try to bring us down. Even though he can't, he still can sling spiritual fiery darts at us. This is because we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places. Ephesians 6:12 is where you can find that. A strong marriage needs a threefold cord, with God being the third cord that holds it all together. Couples were in a war, a spiritual war, and the enemy wants to bring us down. So couples, we need to pray together, serve together, and study the word together to be able to stay together. How do you like that?
Yeah.
We have to get in God's word together. We have to study that scripture together. And we have to be able to do these things to stay together.
One thing, though, is
because the two become one.
we really don't work together well as a team. Because I think I know everything and he thinks he knows everything. So then we're both trying to know everything.
I'm picking something off the bottom of my microphone.
And they're going to hear that.
Probably. I just noticed this thing had rubber feet on it.
Alan, that's a sticker.
No, it ain't no sticker.
Yes, it is.
No, it's little plastic covers.
Now he's going to get that
Hey, look
stuck.
at that. Yeah, Mike won't slide all over the place now.
Now he's going to get that stuck to the table. It's going to be stuck there now.
See, we get sidetracked sometimes.
Oh, well, I guess it's not. I thought it was like stickers. That
No,
it was going to be
cut.
stuck to something.
Look. Look at that. Rubber feet.
Well, I
That's
don't
why it's
move.
showing her rubber feet.
I don't move mine. So I don't have that problem.
No,
But I like to mess with stuff, so.
I still ain't figured
I
out
need
why
a pen
why
or
you use this
something.
big old circle thing on your
So
microphone.
you don't hear me swallow, Alan.
I don't like ASMR stuff.
No, but I heard you swallow.
Yeah, I heard you slapping that gum a minute ago, like going out of style. I couldn't stand it.
Yeah.
So, what we're going to do here is we're going to encourage all of you married couple out there to do what this slide said right here. We both encourage you to pray together, go to bed tonight, and pray before bed, or pray right where you're at right now. Begin to get in the habit of praying with each other more.
Let's make it a challenge.
What?
Like to do it for a full month. Like when you're gone, we can pray over the phone.
Hey, yeah, we can do that. Yeah, because
For
we're going
30
to do this
days.
more. We're going to practice this more ourselves. So we encourage y'all to do it with us. Do it for a whole month. All married couples pray together.
Do you know how many days it takes to make something a habit? I heard
What?
66
66 days?
days to make it a habit.
66
I think
days.
that's like 10 weeks.
Well, let's also do this. Like it says, serve together. We're done. This is serving. This is something God called her to start doing, and I'm helping her do it. And we're serving God by doing this, and also by helping y'all with your marriage. Y'all. I wonder how many city slickers is going to say something about that.
I don't know. Remember that thing you was listening to the other night?
Yeah,
That was like that real old country man, and you couldn't understand what he's saying.
Yeah, it was Appalachian
Dialect.
Dialect.
Yeah, it says nowadays it's going out of style, and they think we're dumb because we talk like this or
No,
whatever. But
it's actually primitive language, they say.
yeah,
Our ancestors.
well, Allie will be saying something, and she talks proper, and she puts her ing on stuff like talking.
Yeah, like we say washing.
and
she
I'm like
has to-
talking,
She has to say washing.
and I'm like, what did you say?
Well, let's get back on this. Oh, excuse us, we get sidetracked sometimes. So, let's see. Couples pray together, serve together, study the word together. You're going to get into studying with me more, because you used to ask me all kinds of stuff. But if you do these things, you'll stay together. And it'll build your marriage stronger. It'll pull you closer together. And like us doing podcasts, it's brought me and you closer together. And a couple that prays together stays together.
Yeah. Well, a big thing is you need to put God first in everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. God has to be the center of the marriage. He's the glue that holds it together.
Yep. He's the creator, so.
Absolutely.
Because nothing's ever going to work if you don't put God in the center of it. I mean, we tried for years, and we never got nowhere.
You know, on the next podcast, I like to get into, like, some deliverance conversations and stuff. I've been reading a book over there that I bought, and I'll get Carly to bring it to me.
Wasn't it recommended to you?
Allie, will you bring me that book that I ordered? I'll show them which one it is. It's full of a lot of great information, and it's about cleaning your house up, evil spirits and stuff like that. Yeah, bring that over here. I ordered this, Spiritual House Cleaning. Our pastor's wife recommended this book, and so far, it's been amazing. There's a lot of great stories in there. They're true stories of people getting delivered, and it tells you about objects, things that spirits attach themselves to in your house, like maybe little false gods or like a Buddha statue, or just any kind of thing. It goes into depth about that stuff and how you need to get rid of it.
Didn't it say something about like an ex's, like something of your ex's that was holding on to something?
You talking about what is that called? A soul tie. Is that what you talking about?
I don't know. Something was reading in there the other day.
You talking about like an ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend or something like that?
No, like their things, their belongings. Somebody in that book had something. She was reading it. I heard you.
Oh, yeah. It was like a dress or something. Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I'm not going to ruin it for him, but it was an object that there was a adultery being committed in that story. It's a true story, and the woman that was messing with another man, that other man had bought her a gift, and she was holding on to that, and that was giving the foothold for the devil, and that's how the demons were allowed to have legal right to still be there, even after she was delivered, because she was still holding on to the dress. Yeah, that's what it was. It was the dress. Hey, I don't remember what it was.
I don't remember what I didn't remember.
Yeah,
about
it was a dress that he bought her.
But I just remember something about it.
So, yeah, I'm going to go over this book a little bit after I finish it. And I suggest that y'all get the Spiritual House Clean. You can get it off of Amazon. I think it was like $12. Very interesting. But that's something that we need to go over more on the podcast.
Well, after you finish reading it, we will.
All right.
How far you got?
A little ways in
41.
there. Well, I believe we're going to podcast right here for this one. This is number 4, by the way. We're already
We made it to 4.
4 episodes in.
It really doesn't seem like we've made that many.
No. Well, we hope you enjoyed today's podcast. We strongly encourage y'all to not give up on your marriages. No matter what the battle is that's going on, that you fight for the marriage. Man and the woman. Y'all fight for it. Fight for each other. Save it. Because what God put together, let no man put asunder. We fought for ours. And you can fight for yours too. It's not helpless and you're not hopeless. God will hold you together. And he will change both of you to follow him and to live a happy marriage.
What's the Bible say the years that the locust took or something like that?
God will restore.
Yeah.
Yeah, God will restore. God will restore your marriages. But that's all we got for y'all on this podcast today. And we'll see y'all next week on a new episode of the Bulletproof Marriage Podcast. And I'm Alan. And
I'm Becca.
and
If you
we'll
don't already know.
and we'll see you next week. We love you guys. Bye.
Bye.